Good day and welcome to SCO BRICS Insight, where we bring you the latest news, information and analysis on what's going on in the world of the BRICS. Now, the consequences of the breakdown in relations between the European Union and Russia have finally caught up with both Gazprom and the Russian budget, for which Gazprom is a major and important contributor. Now, the sabotage of the Nord Stream pipelines didn't help matters, and at the end of 2023, Gazprom showed a net loss for the first time in a quarter of a century. This amounted to 629 billion rubles, which is about $7 billion. Now, the company's gas business experienced a 40% decline in revenue from 7.72 trillion rubles at the end of 2022 to 4.41 trillion rubles. Now, gas exports, as anticipated, decreased by over half from 7.3 trillion rubles to 2.9 trillion rubles. Conversely, the oil production and generating electricity segments of the company actually demonstrated some resilience and even some growth. However, the issue is not solely, or the loss is not solely about a decline in gas sales abroad. Last year the holding recorded a loss of 1.5 trillion rubles due to the depreciation of some of its assets. Now, this was comparable to the 1.3 trillion rubles in losses recorded in 2022. Now, however, due to record income, these losses didn't actually get significant attention. Now, Gazprom hasn't disclosed the list of its toxic assets, but it's reasonable to assume that these are Nord Stream pipelines and the holdings other foreign infrastructure that was confiscated or basically nationalised by other governments. Now, these losses had to be recognised and written off at some point, which is what has happened currently. At the end of May, the issues of dividends for the corporations will be decided. Now, analysts remind that payments are calculated taking into account the amount of profit, or in this case loss, and then adjusted for a number of parameters, including the losses from depreciation, etc. Now, at the same time, the ratio of net debt EBITDA should not exceed 2.6. Now, however, due to the growth of debt last year, that indicator turns out to be a bit worse than that. Now, in such a situation, the board of directors is not obliged, although it still may, recommend a payment of 50% of the adjusted annual net income. Now, at the end of 2022, the holding distributed 1.2 trillion rubles, which is about $10 million amongst the shareholders, with half of that going to the state budget. Now, these were, however, interim dividends for the first 6 months of 2022 and not the entire year. Although analysts did warn that in the second half of 2022 there was no point expecting dividends from Gazprom then or in the coming years, given the difficulties that are happening within their Western markets. However, it's too early to completely lose hope. The state has identified alternative sources of revenues to replenish the budget from the gas sales. Since the beginning of 2023, they've raised an additional 50 billion rubles in the form of an added mineral extraction tax. And that's been withdrawn from Gazprom almost every month. So that's a fair old chunk of money. Now, however, the monopoly's capital costs are also on the rise. In 2022, they were 2.1 trillion, and in 2023, they'll be 2.4 trillion. Now, the holding continues to develop new gas production centres in the Yamal, Yakutia, and the Irkutsk region, and the Power of Siberia main gas pipeline, plus the gas processing plant in Amur. Now, from 2024, the gasification of the Russian regions has been added to the investment programme, although the investment programme itself has been compressed to 1.6 trillion. Now, the loss incurred last year marks the end of Gazprom's operating model, which it previously was stuck on, which was focused on the exporting of raw materials to global markets, primarily in the West. Now, at the same time, this opens up a new chapter in which the opportunity for the holding to adopt fundamentally new strategy. Key question is whether the change to the West for the East will again rely on exporting gas abroad now to China. Now this would involve building another expensive branch of the Power of Siberia pipeline, when they haven't currently fully utilised the power of Siberia too. Plus, any new pipeline planned by till 2020 won't fully compensate for the lost sales volume in the western direction. Now, according to VEB Institute of Research, Gazprom export pipeline supplies are forecast to grow from 97 billion cubic meters in 2024 to 114 by 2030. Now that's compared with the 204 billion that it exported in 2021. We're looking at almost half. Now, the LNG market where it's involved is currently undergoing significant transformations around the world, and Russia has not fully taken advantage of that. But that is another option for Russia producers who have been a bit slow off the mark, because particularly Gazprom, as they utilise mainly pipeline gas. Now, that's promising, and there's also other promising areas for growth. I mean, the production of and export of electricity, methanol, plastics, fertilizer, and other gas chemical products could be done. Now, the market, the investors in the state are expecting Gazprom to make fundamental new steps in these new directions, and the export of helium and other industrial gases could be highly profitable. So, there are numerous options for Gazprom to take, and most of those involve developing value-added products that are far more lucrative than just exporting gas. Now, Gazprom has the opportunity to work with other Russian companies to develop its gas chemicals sector, plus the petrochemicals, etc., where Russia could then become a world leader. Anyway, that's Gazprom and the situation with it. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe. Do visit the website SCOBRICSinsight.com for new articles all day, every day, and see what's going on in the world of the BRICS. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all again soon. Thank you.